Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Wednesday morning chat with Peaceful Nik and Aunt Jen. I hope you are all well. Just going to take care of some stuff on the back end here. Aunt Jen, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well today. Yeah,
Great.
I always get excited to be here, to connect and to chat and to just kind of, be real, see what's going on. And yeah.
So when you pop in, everyone say hello. Say hello. We're both going to make a few announcements at the top here, and then we will go straight into the chat. We're just going to talk about transitions in life and how to manage that. And we will use the basis of my transition from science to mediumship, but it applies to everyone if you're making a transition in your life. So I want to obviously peacefulnicthemedium.com for any good stuff, but I want to make a huge major announcement today, and it's really important, and I want to say happy birthday, Aunt Jen. We love you so much. And I've had almost 40 birthdays with you in some way, form, or fashion. And I love you, and you are one of the most important people in my life. Top 4, my husband and my kids and Aunt Jen.
I understand. I got evicted as soon as they came along. It was the
Yeah, you got a much bigger group over there. So, but I'm so grateful for your wisdom, your presence, your ever encompassing unconditional love for me, and wishing you continue that journey for yourself, and the way you share your unconditional love with everyone. And because you do give a lot, you give a lot. And I know you're working on that balance, and I'm proud of you for that, because sometimes we overgive, right? And so I just want you to know I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for you, and I hope you have the most wonderful, happy birthday.
Thank you. You're starting off it early because it's tomorrow.
I know, but we're not going live tomorrow.
I know. And I appreciate that coming from you, because we have spent many birthdays together.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. I like to, I love birthdays. It's a great opportunity for me really to take note of myself, where I've come from, what's happening. It's a great time to be able to do that. It's also a great time to celebrate yourself. And also it's a time that people get to celebrate you too. So that's always nice. So thank you very much, my dear. And I have to say, I keep trying to remind myself to stare into the camera that's up here, but I can't help but looking at you.
I know. I do the same thing, and I watch the replay.
So that's my disclaimer.
I watch the replay, and I'm like, we are totally not looking into the camera at all. We need some direction. We need somebody to direct us, tell us what to do. Tons of happy birthdays are coming in the chat. From Holly's here, Peekaboo, Vivian, stay tuned, and Gina. Thank you guys so much for being here early on this Wednesday morning. We appreciate it. Just a couple more announcements. I have my mini mediumship reading. I added dates to this because I sold so many of these. I had to add dates to the special, and now it's not just mediumship, it's also spiritual guidance. So you get to click a button which one you want when you book. So if you want a reading on a budget, a mini reading, I have added dates into February, late February, early March. I keep trying to click on here. If you're going to order this 3-card digital Valentine's Day reading for a loved one, do it before the 12th or by the 12th, so I get it to you in time, because it takes time to complete these. And that's a great unique gift to give to your loved ones. It is a decorated PDF with a personalized reading tailored to your loved one. And then, of course, my mediumship readings, my guidance readings, my books, all available for you all to enjoy. So everything can be found on peacefulnickthemedium.com. And Aunt Jen, I know you have some announcements.
I do have an announcement. It's exciting too. I am in the process right now of interviewing for, I have 3 spots available to be guided through. It's a I don't like to say 7 week because it's not 7 weeks. There's 7 modules. I don't even like the word module, but there's 7 modules. We'll use the word module as you journey to self-love, just like there's also 7 chakras. Mm-hmm. So right now I am in the process of interviewing to see who might be a good fit. That's something that they're interested in. And it's really at everyone's own pace. So depending upon how much time you need in between each one of them depends on how long it kind of takes while you're still in constant contact with me. And, most of my, up until now and all the different things, everything I've done has always been word of mouth, which I've always been grateful for. Word of mouth and referrals. So right now I'm still just kind of working off of that kind of blueprint. And so the best way to contact me is Aunt Jen, 1972 at Gmail. And then from there we can connect and set up a chat to see if that's something that you may be interested in. If you're also just interested in finding out more, there's no anything about it. Just come on board and see what's happening, and we'll kind of go from there. So it's exciting. I will be that'll be taking place this month, and then we will be starting it in the March.
That's wonderful. And can you tell just a few bullet points, a brief description of what the hope for is in the program, and how committed should someone be if they're going to start this program?
Well, I mean, you definitely, you want to be committed, to the end result of falling deeper in love with yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's the end. That's the commitment. And then what happens in between, right, is going to kind of take place. If you show up and you participate and you actually take in the information, I don't see how you're not there's no way to not be shifted. I mean, there's very juicy, we talk about a daily routine in very deep detail of many different options and ways of starting and doing daily routines. We talk about, we have to dive into the parents in some ways, like the mother, the father, the male, the female, these are all kind of another one that I think is really exciting and maybe not exciting to people, but I think it's a part of the process of love, is like we talk about the body in many different ways. And so it's really just like, it could be like an eye-opening experience for yourself of things that you never even thought of. Like you might already have a daily routine that you do, but you're like, wait, I never thought about adding this into it. Or that, it's like, well, how can we do all these different things that are finding us of a way of self-love? And it's kind of like that word is used, but it's like self-love, self-acceptance, discovery, self-permission. Like it's all kind of in that same way of just really learning how to fall in love deeper with yourself as you're journeying to who your new version of yourself is.
Can you tell me what self-acceptance means for you and how you describe that to your clients?
Self-acceptance to me is knowing my level of acceptance of myself and the way that I've treated myself, and being at a place of fully embracing and accepting whoever I am in that particular time period and moment, of like learning how to embrace the dark and the light, because we are made up of both of them. And if I don't have, if I don't allow myself the ability to accept and lean into my darker side as long as my lighter side, then that's not really truly accepting who I truly am. And it's not saying that things don't shift and change. It's just in the moment. So it's like acceptance can be taken in so many different directions, because it's like that could be like a bigger one, right? And then it's like, okay, just trying to accept myself in this moment, right? This moment, right? Of like, okay, where am I at now? And realizing that it's a practice.
Okay. That's the key, I think. That last little
It's a practice.
sentence, it's a practice.
It's a practice.
And
And so you won't, it's kind of like you'll do it and then be like, oh wait, yeah, that, and like maybe it's one of those things too of like taking acceptance and you're starting your day off with the word acceptance. And then that's one of the last things that you're doing at the end of the day is like, oh, okay, let me go through and look at my day. Like I'm kind of watching it as a movie and like, where was my acceptance? How did I like, even not even like in the moment, but like accepting the day for what it was, right? Starting off with smaller moments, right? A bigger, and then kind of dissecting that down depending on the individual.
Right. And that's what's so beautiful about your program. It's very individualized. It's the same thing with my annual mentorships. They're specifically tailored to the person. That's the beauty of, and you've talked about that before. That's the beauty of these individual workshops, classes, mentorships, however people want to look at them. It's because it's specific to you in your life and what's going on with you, because everybody's in a different place. There's nothing wrong with group classes or workshops or anything like that. It's just when you want to really dive deep, individual mentorships and classes, etc.
And like I said, and like you had said, they know people do them very differently. This program that I have been doing for a while now, my coach ended up doing it. She's like, I want to do it. And I was like, okay. And she loved it. Like she was just like, wow. Like even because like you can always, just because someone has, they might be your coach in some ways. Doesn't mean that there's not an exchange.
Right.
Being able to be like, wait, this is one of my strengths. Let me see what I can do with regards to helping you with that. Or like, I think that's what makes the cohesiveness, right? Of just being able to allow things to flow and realizing that it's a dance of like where someone has something to offer and then someone else. And so it's like, and then you have people that have come and joined and like, I've had young people, I've had some of my friends' mothers just being like, oh my gosh, like, never really realizing that they never loved themselves. Right. Yeah. And then be like, okay, let's just walk through this of like, it's okay. First of all, it's okay. And where do you start? Well, we just start. I don't know. We're going to figure it out based on you.
Well, and the boomer generation, my mother's passed, but your mother would be a boomer. Good morning, Lucille. Hi, honey. I'm so glad you're here. They really never got to learn to love themselves. Hi, Lily. Welcome. Hola.
No.
They didn't. So I think there's our generation, every generation can use it, but I think it's very different. What each generation has a whole bunch of different issues they come in with, right?
Yes. And some don't some of the, I can't say I have favorites because it's just not true. I try to think I do, but like the different levels. So I've worked with high school girls and like, that was just so fulfilling to be able to help these high school girls to be able to like, can you just like, can I arm you with some more confidence in yourself of whatever.
Exactly.
I remember one young lady I worked with, she was actually with, I'm just going to say, she was with the San Francisco Ballet and she was asked to leave. And we started talking and we flipped the script right away. You were not invited back. Okay. So you weren't invited back. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time here and I would like you to decide whether you want to go back. Right. So instead of it just being the whole thing of like, and actually through the whole dissection and finding out the way that they groom these young ladies to be ballerinas, I had to be very careful of what I said because I wanted her to be able to hear, feel, and see it herself. Right. And at the end of our program, and then we ended up continuing working together, she did not want to go back there. She didn't like how they made her feel about herself.
Right.
To me, that was a gift. But like, I look at it as like, I was able to help her realize that she didn't like how they made her feel. And like, she would have never even been in that place to understand that concept because it was like, oh my gosh, I want to be a ballerina. I want to do, right? It's like the whole concept. She still continued her dream of dancing. It went in another direction. And like, so it's like, I'm at high school, I've had older people that like they just never felt like they've never even heard. Like it's like, whoa, what's going on? And then, you know, or 20 somethings that are like, oh my gosh, I just don't have anybody. And it's like, okay, well, how did you have yourself? Right. And like
Right.
finding that of like you're trying to seek outside of ourself, which I only say these things because I've gone through it. I'm not saying it because I'm like, oh, well, you should try it. It's like I've been there. I get
Yeah.
it. And it's just very it's priceless to me. I mean, I can't even be able to continue to think about like how much it impacts and how much it really makes a difference. And sometimes this work, I'll be with people for a very long time, and sometimes I'm not. Like they get what they need, and then they're out there, and I'm like, okay.
Well,
Right?
and you know, the beautiful part about that is it gives every woman permission to take time to explore them instead of trying to please every damn body else, which is what we are programmed to do from the get-go. Please everybody, smile, behave, put the fork on the right side of the plate, or whatever we're trained to do, come have babies and be submissive, right? We're not programmed for that. That's not what we're here for solely. There's nothing wrong with having babies if that's what you choose to do. There's nothing wrong with not having babies. There's nothing wrong with not being in etiquette class, right? Like we don't all have to follow the same path. And it's okay to explore you. And I want to mention something you talked about grooming, which is a great transition to one of the points I wanted to make today. But I want to just say hi to Lily. She said, I like to spit advice to the young people in small moments. I feel like talking about your spiritual experience helps give them the courage to be their spiritual self. Yes. Yes.
And
yes,
I just
yes.
wanted to say that I like how you phrase it, permission, because that's
Right.
really like being able to even look at it as like, wait, I never even looked at it that way. Like, do you give yourself permission to be
Right.
wrong? Do you give yourself any room? Do you get any freedom? You know, so
Some grace. Yeah. Some grace with yourself. Exactly. And there is a lot going on in the news, especially over last weekend. There was a huge dump of files in the news. And to those of us who are triggered, to those of us who may be survivors of abuse at the hands of someone else, we may have had a lot of feelings recently since all these files are coming out. I am myself a survivor of abuse, sexual abuse, and it is very triggering. And Therapy Jeff, he's on Instagram, he's everywhere. I did not get the link for the video, but he had a video put out this morning, and he talked about some of his followers are talking about the nightmares they have. Hi, Marby. Oh, it's so nice to see you. Hi, Judy. Hello, hello. I'm glad you're here. So he said some women, I made notes from his video. He said some women are having nightmares of being kidnapped, of being abused. Of course, that's happening. They're being re-traumatized by all of this news, and we don't have to watch it. I personally only know very little, because when I scroll to post my videos and stuff, I'll scroll for a couple minutes. I'll see stuff that I didn't want to see. And it's pretty horrific. It's worse than I ever imagined. I think I was very naive about what was happening. It's 1,000 million billion times worse than I ever imagined, like by far. And so I'm avoiding it, and I'm trying to use that energy to do more creative things. Watch comedy shows, watch sitcoms, do some artwork. I do Sudoku because I like math. And so Therapy Jeff said, get back into avoiding. Don't sit there and just watch it. You don't have to know. You know enough. And he said, regulate your nervous system. Get back into your body. Go into nature, touch the grass, hug a tree, Aunt Jen's favorite. Do things that are going to bring you back into who you are, and you are not your trauma. You are not a victim forever. You have been victimized if you're a survivor, but you don't have to live in that state. You don't have to identify with that. There are so many resources out there for survivors. There's a million books about it. There's a million groups about it. There's individual therapy and coaching programs. So if you're struggling, seek out some professional help in some way, because you don't want to go. It's very easy to go spiral down into a depression, because what is being reported, especially because no one is being held accountable. And one of the worst perpetrators is in the White House. And it makes us all feel scared. So we have to do things that make us feel safe. So make yourself feel safe and avoid reading about it. You know enough. If you're triggered, you know more than you needed to know. And there's right now, individually, you can't change it, but you can donate. If you want to have an action, you can donate to places that help survivors. You can rest is resistance therapy, Jeff said. We try to raise the vibe here on our show and give people tips and tricks to how to survive this crazy world. And so there's a lot that you can do. And I would start by avoiding reading about it or watching any coverage. So that's my rant. Watch Therapy Jeff's video. He's on all the socials. And Judy said, the reality of what happened is the making of your worst nightmares. Yes. And I never thought it was as bad as it is. Judy also said, trees in nature are great healers. And Lily said, I'm annoyed that him being in the White House. Yeah, a lot of people are. Yeah. 75 million people are. So I hope that helps those of you who are struggling with any of this. Embrace the coming of spring and earth energy of the new beginning. Yes, I agree. And our lotus flower background here is an indication of peace, right? We all need to find peace. No mud, no lotus, as Aunt Jen taught me for years. No mud, no lotus. If you don't go through mud, you can't get to the beautiful part. And sometimes we got to go through the mud. You can stay in the mud, but you're never going to get that lotus if you do. So today we're going to talk about, feel free to add questions, comments, etc. Today we're going to talk about transitioning from one part of your life to another. And we're going to, Aunt Jen's going to ask me some questions, and we're going to just chat about transitions in life.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about mediumship, per se. So how did you first realize that you had mediumship abilities, and what was the awakening like for you personally?
So my whole life had, I was aware of some weird paranormal things. My mom, who passed 40 years ago, read a lot of UFO books, a lot of paranormal books. I don't remember her necessarily reading any metaphysical books, but she was into the paranormal stuff. Now, so I was aware that UFOs were reported, and there were UFO flaps, and there were weird things that happened. So I had an awareness of it. And some paranormal things happened in our house a few times. Like I told the story about the drawer shooting out across the living room many times while we were all just sitting there like, how did that happen? I think my mom had telekinesis and didn't know it. Or just the group of us all together, pardon?
I said collectively.
Collectively, right. And so I followed a science track in college. So my undergraduate and graduate degrees are astronomy and biology. Actually, astrobiology is the study of finding life on other planets or aliens, which is kind of funny that my mom always used to read about UFOs, and that's what my career path followed. Life on Mars, specifically, probably microbial, maybe some little fish under there. Gina went to Area 51. That's awesome. And Peekaboo said aliens are special interest. Yeah. So I'm totally into aliens and like studying, are they there? Are they not there? All of that stuff. And then I'm a science communicator and educator for years and years and years. I still do that job to this day. And 7 years ago in January 2019, I got a phone call that someone had passed away who I hadn't seen for 25 years. And then he came to me in a vision, and what he told me and made me feel was validated later by his mother a couple days later. And I blew it off and was like, oh, that's cool. And, you know, I told my family and they were all like, what? I'm like, yeah, it was crazy.
I remember.
Yeah. And I didn't really think much about it. And then something very similar happened a few months later. And I've told the story many times, so I'm skipping a lot of parts for sake of time. And when it happened again, I thought, oh, wow, this is weird. Like my knees buckled when I got the validation, and I was like, there's something happening that's not normal. Like there's a reason this is happening. So of course I scoured YouTube for mediumship people. I didn't really know who to look for. I had seen mediumship shows. You know, I'd seen Teresa Caputo's show years ago. I saw the show Medium that was made after that lady who was a medium, like 20 years ago or so, that was on. And one of the Arquette sisters played her. Anyway, and then I found a mentor and started taking classes to scientifically try to prove myself wrong, because scientists are supposed to prove things wrong. And so I did not prove myself wrong. I proved that I am a medium. And people ask all the time, was it a hard transition? It's not really, because I had a full-time job. So I didn't have to worry about paying my bills, right? I wasn't quitting my job, and I don't recommend that. If you have.
Oh, hi. Well, something happened on Peaceful Nick's side. She's probably going to come back. But right now, it's just me. So she was saying, don't quit your day job while you're seeking. And here she comes.
My electricity's been flashing today.
Well, we just were chatting.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad it didn't turn off completely.
Us too.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, don't quit your job on a whim. That was the point of that. So if I disappear again, I think because it's so cold here, everybody's running their furnace, even though it's going to be 70 degrees here. People think they're frozen.
Oh. Okay.
Florida, we call it Florida cold.
Got it.
Florida cold. All right, let's see. When did we get? Okay. All right. So I'm back.
Okay.
So the transition for me wasn't that hard. Like, it was actually kind of beautiful.
I love that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's see. Was there a moment when you knew you wanted to share this work publicly instead of keeping it private?
With my family, my husband and kids and daughters-in-law, I didn't keep it private. And actually, the second person I got the information from that passed away, that was validated, was one of my daughter-in-laws. And so it was not a secret from my close family at all. And the first person was a friend of my sister's. So they all knew too. I really have this, I don't know if it's a gift or a craziness. I don't know how you would define it, but I don't really care if other people judge me. I think maybe because I was kind of had to raise myself and depend on myself most of my life. I was just trying to survive. So I didn't really care what other people thought about what I was doing for the most part.
For the most part, it's true. You really were like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know I admire that. I wasn't. So I had to grow into it. And so I definitely, that was one of the things that, you find, I always say, you find people that you're attracted to necessarily also some of their qualities too. So it's that was definitely something that I found attractive, of being oh, I want that. I want to be able to not care what other people think a little bit more, right? Be able to just work that muscle a little more. So I just had to confirm that that's very true. You really did possess that.
And some people, it annoys people that I have that ability. Now, whether that's just because I'm a Sagittarius or just because I came out that way or just because it's a trauma response, I don't really know. It's probably a combination of all of those things. But
it doesn't have to be just one thing.
Yeah, it annoys people that I don't care if they don't like me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to live my life based on how you feel about me.
It's also a very, talking about transitions and fear, right? There's a fear behind sometimes having that. And then on the other side of it, there's a true freedom, because it has been a muscle that I've been working, but it's been going on some years now. But especially now, I do not care what you think about me in any which way, shape, or form.
Isn't it freeing?
It's very, very freeing. And it's also, it's I think the energy field that you kind of will put out there is also different, because, we all want to be, it's not saying that everyone wants to be loved and everyone wants to be liked. That's yes. And but being able to fully love who you are and accept that, if people don't love that and accept that, all of it, then that's okay. That there's the door. Always thinking about people that have left, even through I definitely have been one of those people that tries to hang on for a very long time with people when maybe it's not working. And so over the years, that has definitely shifted for me. And I look at things now being I'm really glad that they walked out. You did me a favor in a lot of ways, because you're showing me how you really feel, how much my friendship, how much all the different things. And then also when those things kind of happen too, I think I've gone on another subject, but when those things kind of happen too, you get to really analyze how much of an effort is there here? Is this a low effort? Is the high, and then realizing wow, I put in a lot more effort, not making people wrong, but realizing, oh, once I pull my energy back and my effort back, that's when I really started to see stuff of being oh, so were you really my friend for me, or were you my friend for what I did for you, or what I offered you, or how I showed up for you, and then you start to, and then as you're dialing it more down, not necessarily on purpose, but for yourself, and then they're never showing up of any way, and then you realize, you know what? Actually, I don't think they ever really reached out in this friendship. Wait a second, actually, I don't think that, and then you're okay, this maybe is not. It's time to move on, but it's because I don't look at it as something also as a negative of over loving. Why I like to love people. So why would you not want to have friends for a long? I mean, look, you and I have been friends for 40 years. It's in my DNA. I like to be able to do that, but you have to be able to balance of but is this really serving you? Is this really working? And sometimes friendships are for a season, a reason. Sometimes people will come back. If it's true, it comes back when people do whatever they need to do sometimes. And then sometimes it's you send people love and it's but it's just not the place.
Yeah, that's all you can do. And I want to come back to that, but we've got some questions in the chat real quick. Yes. This is for both of us from Lily. says, do either of us have aura visions? I will answer them one at a time. Actually, the last time Aunt Jen and I were on a FaceTime, I could see her aura, and then we were just talking and talking and talking, and I forgot to tell her. So when we were talking last week, it was really bright around you, actually, and it was white the way I could see it. And then do I see color? Do we see colors, orbs, blots of color during your readings or messages from spirit? Well, I see orbs. I have some videos in the archives where I was giving a reading on Zoom, is how I do my readings. And as soon as I was giving the client information about her dad in spirit, there were orbs going across the screen. Like, it was crazy. Now, I had to screen record it to put it on, social media. So it's not as clear as it was in the original, but it happened 2 or 3 times during the Zoom. And so, yeah, I see orbs. I see all kinds of weird stuff. Yes. Jen, do you see any of that?
Well, my connection with mediumship is different. And so I'm still unclear. I might be, it's like, it just is like, I don't know how to describe it other than like, this is who I've always been. And I didn't understand what it was.
Right.
Like, so I'm still kind of I'm still kind of like digesting it and understanding it, because it was just one of those things when you were in your course and you had to teach someone how to be a medium. And so, of course, because I was your friend, right? And it was like, and I had already helped set you up with all these people that, like, it was just so rewarding. And there was so much, I loved it. And it was like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm thinking it was, oh, this is going to be funny. And then we both were like, what? Wait, what's going on? And it was like, oh my gosh. And it's like, wait, what? And I was like, well, I don't know. I just talked to, wait, that's not normal. Like, I don't know that.
Right.
So I'm still trying to like understand it, because it's very, it's bigger than I can understand.
Yes.
And so that's why I personally like enjoy my mentorship with you, because we get to do it at whatever the pace kind of goes. And for me, it's not about the transition. It's about fear. Fear is my big one of like trusting. Like, I'm just like, this is just like, what is going on? Like, I was always trusting, like, wait, is that really happening? And is this really, so as far as the lights and the orb to get back, like, probably, but I don't even realize it, because there's so many things that I just feels like it's common with the downloads, with the people, all of it, that I'm just like, isn't that normal? Doesn't everybody just be like that? Until you went into your teachings, and then it was like, no, and nothing, you're not wrong, but like, no, there's something that's there.
Yeah.
So, and then even having your teacher give feedback of being like, and I'm like, oh, and that scared me even more, right? It's like, oh, here's someone who really knows, right? Being like, oh, this girl's got skills. Teach her what to do. And I'm like, and I ran like a scared little kid. And I'm okay with that. And I've been working on it at my own pace over, the past how many years now, and like doing things. And so I'm moving into a transition of that, like open to seeing how that can help my clients, how that can help so many other people, where it's already happening naturally. Because I've always believed that a lot of the stuff when I'm talking and I'm coaching with people, like, it's not me. That's why I don't remember what I've said afterwards.
You're channeling.
You're channeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
To give the message.
So there's some comments, but I want to get to, just briefly, I want to explain what happened for those of you who aren't aware. 6 years ago or so was being certified to be a mediumship teacher by my mentor. And I had to get a student. So I'm like, well, Jen tells me she hears spirits all the time, so let's see what she can do. And so I started mentoring Aunt Jen as my certification student. That was years ago. And so that's the story, the background of the story she's referring to, that she's always had this. And I have a couple of mentees on here now, and I know at least one of them has the same type of background where she has always gotten messages from spirit and didn't know it. And has told me many stories. My guides were there the whole time talking to me when I spent time alone, which I know, Aunt Jen, you had a lot of time alone. And so I think our guides and people in spirit, loved ones in spirit, maybe relatives we didn't even know, are there always to support us and love us. And as children, especially when we're experiencing loneliness or neglect or how whatever the story or situation is, they're there with us. And because when we're children, we have much more of an open portal to the other world, it's a lot easier for us to hear those messages.
Agreed.
And so, I think that is so that may be more common than we realize, and it is overwhelming. It's still overwhelming to me, Jen, and to my mentees who are here. I still get overwhelmed when I go into a meditation or sitting in the power, and I realize I have so much access to so much information that I'm like, whoa, there's a lot we have access to, and I don't know if I'm ready to access everything yet.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that, you know, for me, the one thing that I put back around to it was that, like, I had a harder time sometimes connecting with people. And so it was like, well, there's so much time in the day. So it was like that. It just was a natural thing to be like, all right, like seeing kind of what's going on, or, you know, having these connections or conversations and getting filled up in areas where you might not have gotten filled by actual people here on Earth. And so sometimes it can just be something like that.
yeah. And that's there's a lot. I taught a lot of my students, mentees are therapists, teachers, nurses, coaches, counselors, who are just like what you said, Jen, bringing the mediumship into their practice of counseling others. And it's such you know, as long as those people who I'm referring to use it ethically, of course, then I don't see a problem with it, right? Because you have to ask their permission. You have to ask your client's permission if it's okay. If you're just a regular therapist, you don't want to drop grandma into the to the therapy session without your client's permission. So we all have to have permission. Let's see. Let's see. Hi, Wendy from Facebook. How are you? I can't tell who's from Facebook and who's on YouTube. So hello to everyone.
There's like a little icon. So
yeah,
like,
but it's not telling me which one's which. It's just one number.
oh, I see it on this side.
Oh, all right. You don't have to say it. We don't want to out ourselves. Vivian said, I thought I was smart. It was a little disappointing to know I'm not as smart as I thought. It was my guides and grandpa I've never met talking to me. Well, you are smart, so don't be disappointed. You're very bright.
I know what she's talking about, though. I had the same similar thing of being like, this isn't me. Like it's just coming, you know, it's coming through me, and it's not, because then I can't repeat it or something happened and I'm like, well, what'd you just say? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, did you write that down? Because, like, I mean, it's not there anymore.
Lily said that's a beautiful thing. And Subway Switch said, good afternoon. Can a medium appear in someone's heart or mind if they are meditating or trying to draw a spirit? I'm not sure I understand exactly. Can a medium appear in someone's heart or mind? Well, I'm not sure I understand the question. If they are meditating, anyone can meditate and draw in a spiritual energy, if that's what you mean. I wouldn't try to meditate on my own and draw in a living person's energy, because that's kind of crossing a boundary. But so maybe clarify what you mean. I may just be tired and not understanding.
I didn't really I was going to say the same thing. I wasn't sure of the languaging. Like, I think they're trying to say something, but the way that it's written out, it's like, wait, there's like just a confusion of like a little more clarity.
Yeah, a little more clarity. And Aunt Jen, when you realized after our chats and classes, when you realized you are a natural born medium.
Mm-hmm.
How did that transition into your new reality go for you in your mind? How did that feel in your mind?
I mean, it was like a boost, right? Of like, oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. Like, like just a confidence boost of like getting validation, right? You look for validation, like we're looking for confirmation and validation when you're doing mediumship, right? Because I'm the same, evidential, right? So I want evidence to be able to show you that I'm connecting with this person. And so it felt like I got the evidence from myself of being like, girl, you got the evidence. I don't know what more evidence you need, right? Like it's like go and my biggest challenge is, can you please keep working on this muscle? Like, can you discipline? Can you sit down and can you do this? Can you do that? Can you like, and that's where I'm like, still like, oh, I don't know, and I'm watching as I watch myself. And then we talk about like having compassion for ourselves. That's what I do. I try and have compassion, not beat myself up and be like, oh my gosh, why are you not doing this? And it's like, girl, you're doing great at the pace that you're doing. You're doing it the way that, feels comfortable for you as you're kind of embracing it. And it's also like, it is so exciting that like it's like you're on the precipice of like something really really like bursting open. And so I would say be honest, because I've always been trying to be as honest as I can, excuse me, even with myself. I'm holding myself back. Yeah. I know it. I see it and I acknowledge that, and I'm not judging myself on that. I'm trying to compassionately inquire within, okay, Jennifer, what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? What is it? Because if I don't, then what I've seen from my own path of history, I'll end up back there. It won't matter where I go. I'll push myself through something, and then I'll have all these different things that I have to work out. So I'd rather just try and get those in and out and working through them, even though they're still going to kind of bubble up. But the gist of them, like there's some deeper stuff that's rooted in there that like spending some time compassionately inquiring about, why don't you want to do this? What is it? And it's always just like, you don't trust yourself. You still are this like, don't, but like, even though with all the evidence and all, I still will just be like, ooh, I don't know. Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. And so it's like interesting to witness myself of like watching myself on the bench of being like, are you going to get up now? Are we in the game? Are we like, and it's just like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. We're having a great time here, and we'll do that. And we'll move along. And so I think it's a process.
Yeah. I want to remind you, trust and allow everybody. Mm-hmm. If you're working on your mediumship abilities, you have to trust yourself and spirit. And I remember we were doing practice readings one day. Jen, you may not remember this. This was probably 5 years ago. And you were in your bedroom or somewhere, and you said, it's so weird. I'm looking at my laundry basket, and I can see these people like superimposed on my laundry basket. You're like, it's so bizarre. Like, there's my bedroom and my laundry basket, and there are people that I can see there. It was so like, yes, we all have that ability to tap in, and it can be so scary. I hold myself back, and I probably shouldn't, but I have a lot of 3-dimensional responsibilities I'm trying to also manage. And so part of my problem is letting go of the 3-dimensional responsibilities and fully dive into the full capacity of my ability, I guess. I don't even know if those are the right words to use, but like when I'm channeling and in the flow, it's beautiful, but I do hold myself back, and I am aware of that. And that is because I still, even though I've been a medium for a long time, I still have fear. Mm. I still have stuff I'm dealing with. I still have layers to uncover. Mm-hmm. Like, you can be a medium for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and still have layers that you are revealing. There's no pinnacle. No. In mediumship. You don't reach the top and become a perfect medium. It's not a thing.
It's right? The same thing in self-development and like growth.
Yes. They go hand in hand.
I think that when I'll be done, when I'm done, like when I'm done, like then I'm done on this earth. Like, okay, bye. Like, it's like, I'm always going to be, there's always something, at least that's how I approach it. there's always something for me to learn about myself. There's always something to be able to, like grow from. I always think there's always something I can grow from. And sometimes like you get real humbled and and I kind of, that happened to me a couple years ago, and it's like, I'm still there. And so it's like, you think, oh, I'm up. It's like, oh no, you're not, girl. You still like, you're doing great. And like, keep going where you're going.
Right.
Because that's just where you're at right now. How are you going to handle it? What are you going to do? How are you going to be your own best friend? How are you going to, what's the process? And then figuring it out, and then failing, and then, learning from that. And I mean, it's all a part of it.
And it can be exhausting. And so I would say that while we're on our spiritual journey, our self-love journey, mediumship journey, whatever healing modality journey you may be on, make sure you have time to be a human and just be away from it. Rest and reset. Pause is the shift, right? I forced myself on Sunday to not work, and it was so hard. It was so very, very hard to not work for an entire day because I work from my home office, right? So I'm at work and home all the time. So I always feel like if I'm not working 24 hours a day doing something, then I'm not doing enough. And so I'm like, I'm burning out really bad. Like, it's too much. And so I had to force myself. So the pause is the shift. And then lo and behold, by Monday, a whole bunch of new great things started happening, right? Because I forced myself to pause. I want to say good morning to Carol. Be careful, and everybody send love to Carol's new knee that she got. She's at the gym for the first day since she got her surgery. So send love and healing to Carol.
Take it easy. Like, what I'd say is, like, if you're just starting off, going back to the gym, you showed up at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, even if you only do a couple things, like, it might not seem like it, but like that, we put this huge, oh my gosh, I have to be able to do this and this and this. And it's like, then when you don't achieve it, then you can, show yourself like, oh, look, see, I told you you're going to fail. Like, it's so setting yourself up for success sometimes. And the only reason why I say that is because that's what I used to always say. And I believe in, as far as, when I'm doing yoga, like getting on the mat is the hardest part. Just get on the mat. And once you get on that mat, like that, you've made it. Like, whatever happens from there, like, yes, we have ideas and goals, and we have desires of what we want that practice to look like. And at the same time, like, I think we all know how hard it is just to get there. And so we get to like give ourselves love and permission to realize that, like, that is a huge step to begin with. And so having this new knee, even though I'm sure like you've gone through physical therapy, so it's not like you haven't done anything. I'm just saying, like, kudos for at least just getting there and, taking the time so that you can actually feel and see the difference that's made.
And that's true for anyone who's starting any kind of emotional, physical, spiritual journey. It's not, you don't have, like, Carol should not be deadlifting 600 pounds today. Like, right. Like, a 3-pound weight maybe on your arms. Let's start with that.
I don't know. This girl could be a bodybuilder. So we do not know what
she's not. I know Carol.
I don't know what her capabilities are. I'm not trying to say, it was just a good example of using that. Like, hey, you got to the gym. Like, I mean, that's the workout in itself sometimes is like getting yourself there. And
exactly.
Then, yes.
Exactly. Yeah, we have to be kind to ourselves. And again, transitioning from a knee surgery to getting to the gym, another transition today, right? Like, it's really awesome. Mangold's here. She's lurking and driving. Hello. And so we have to all be proud of any accomplishments, and it's okay if you have a setback. Everybody has setbacks. I was counseling someone the other day, and they're like, I had this huge setback, but it's okay. We're not all going to just go forward 100% of the time. It's impossible. We have a life, right? Things are happening.
And I say to those kinds of things, it's in the setback.
Right.
So we all, that's where I spend a lot of juice and time, because that's where we spend a lot of time, at least for myself, in the shame and in the all of it. And so you have to, until you can clear that out of realizing that that's a part of it, that is what I say, recommend and do for myself as far as being in the set. Like, well, let's sit there for a minute in the set. Let's see what's going on there. Where's this coming from? Like, really compassionately inquiring and seeing what's going on, because that's inevitable.
And I want to say this morning I woke up and I had a mental setback, and I had to really consciously talk myself back into a good place. Like, I don't normally wake up with negative self-talk, I really did this morning, and I'm not 100% sure why. And I had to really compassionately inquire and say, okay, what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? Why are you so irritable? Why are you so mad? What is happening? And I felt better. I didn't feel perfect. Of course, seeing your beautiful face and everyone here who's so lovely to join us every time we go live, that makes me so happy. But I really had to really look inside, which is a newer practice for me. Usually I'm just
and that's the shift. And so maybe, those are, it's like, why did that happen? Because you're shifting. So it's like, it has to happen so that you can actually have the shift to be able to like, oh, wow, I never usually, how would I handle this? Look,
right.
Well, right. And so it's like, that's all in that kind of process. And it's beautiful. Like, we can't waking up every day, like this joy, like that's just like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it.
Well, there is no perfection, right?
No, it's overrated.
It's not possible.
No,
it's not possible. I want to tell everyone how much we appreciate them joining us and sending everyone love and likes, shares, subscribes, commenting on the video after it goes to wherever YouTube, whatever it does. Commenting on the videos really helps push it out in the algorithm a lot. And liking the videos, sharing them with your loved ones who may be interested in any of the content here on either of our channels is always helpful.
If you're not a subscriber on either one, like, subscribe, because that definitely helps. I'm never talking about that usually, but like, that's how you kind of get things kind of going. So if you're on here and you're not subscribed to me already, like, I would love it if you feel called to just
Jen 888. Yep.
And the same for Peaceful Nick the Medium. But
and so it helps us be able to make more content like this and help people. And Mangold said it's not a Barbie movie, right? There's a really beautiful scene in the Barbie movie that I love. I thought I would hate the Barbie movie, but I loved it so much, where America Ferrera, I believe is the actress's name. She's like, we have to be perfect. We have to be this. We have to be that. And it's like, I've been saying those words for decades. Like, women are held to such a standard. It's impossible to meet the standard. That's why I don't give a bleep about any of those. 55 is beautiful for anybody who hasn't gotten there yet.
I personally liked the movie because of how it impacted so many people that I was working with, so many people that I knew that, like, they were so, like, I didn't coach them or talk to them. I would just I'd listen to why they liked it. And then I'd be like, okay, good. Like, this is good for you. I'm so glad that you're getting this from this movie, because it's, as long as I've known you, that's not necessarily some kind of conversation that you would have, or getting like the speech that she made and like how emotional people got. Well, you got emotional because it hit you, because it resonated. Like,
yeah.
So it's like, there's something that's kind of there. So at first I was just like, I went and I was like, oh, I do not know. I was like, And then after I talked to other people and went back again, I had to go back again. Because I was like, okay, Jennifer, you need to go see this again, Aunt Jen, because I want you to view this in a different perspective. And it literally was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was very grateful for the doors and the cracks, actually, that opened up within people to be able to witness themselves and witness different things and be able to decide they maybe wanted to make a shift about themselves in whatever direction that felt like for them.
Yeah, and you know, it's so funny. Carol said the first 5 minutes were hard, but then she started listening to us and it helped. So that's awesome. I went to see Barbie. Well,
Oh, thank you.
well, the opening weekend I saw Oppenheimer because science, physics, da da da. That's my first love, right? So I went to see Oppenheimer and all these women, and it was in Redwood City in Bay Area, and all these women had all these outfits on, and I'm like, what is happening? I hate everything about this. That was literally my thought process. I knew nothing about the movie. I knew nothing. I hadn't seen a preview. I just knew there was a Barbie movie, and I was like being very judgmental. Like, this is ridiculous. Why are they doing this? And then I watched it streaming later. And I'm like, oh, wow, I feel stupid. I was judging these people thinking they were just dressing up in all these Barbie outfits for superficial reasons. And it had nothing to do with that because I was judging and not realizing this is much bigger and different. It's very different than I thought. It was very different. It had such a beautiful message. For me, that's how I took it. So on that note, with my admission of guilt of judgment,
which we do a lot, and then you get to see it. So there you go.
Wisdom Seeker, hello, darling, said, we appreciate you ladies so very much. Thank you for your commitment to our community. It helps us make it through. It helps both of us that you are here and that it helps us make it through. And I am absolutely 1,000,000,000% sincere when I say that. And I love you, Aunt Jen. Happy birthday.
Love you too.
Happy birthday, Eve. Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
Eve.
Thank you.
And love to all who joined. And again, like, share, and subscribe if you feel compelled to.
And we'll be back next week.
We will be back. Thank you, everyone.